a couple turf grass questions, so we're going to go ahead and move into that section of our talk today. This is always a popular question and one that we deal with regularly. What can I use to kill Bermuda grass? But then they had some caveats. They're looking to kill Bermuda grass in their flower beds, also in their vegetable gardens. So, let's see, Joe, do you want to kind of usher us into this our first turf grass question, and then we can all jump in?
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, good. So there's I would start off with there's quite a bit of pre-emergence that you can use kind of help with a lot of the weed issues. I know they specifically said Bermuda. There's a lot of post-emerge herbicides too that you can use in your vegetable gardens and in your ornamental flower beds that are safe to use. And there's a couple publications on UT Hort that is available. And again, using mulch to help kind of smother some of those weeds out was always very helpful. And then just getting in there and just pulling it out by hand. A lot of times with these herbicides, you have to be very careful when you apply them. If it's too hot, you can do damage to your plants. So sometimes it's just not worth doing it and just kind of getting in there and hand pulling them out. Sometimes it's the best way.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I'm sharing my screen so y'all can see one of these publications that Joe is referencing. This is a common herbicides for fruit and vegetable weed control, right? So sometimes things that we're used to using for like edging along our landscape beds or in turf grass areas don't actually carry a label for fruit and vegetable growing areas. So this is a great reference for homeowners. I love how it's color coded, right? Burn down products, pre-emerge products, post-emerge products. And you can see here right at the top of our list for burn down, we've got glyphosate. That's a very common product that we're going to get some good use out of as far as Bermuda goes. You also have to keep in mind that Bermuda has this ability to regenerate itself, right? So if you spray a piece of the Bermuda but don't get the entire plant, it can just create more roots at every node that it has, right? So it's going to be difficult. This isn't a one and done. You're going to have to continue to come back with those types of products. I was going to get down here to post-emergent selective weed control, say for your vegetable garden area, for example. Cefoxidime is a really great option that is usually my go-to there for food growing areas. And it is a selective grass killer, whereas glyphosate that is non-selective, okay? So you can spray cefoxidime in and amongst your vegetable garden area. You don't want to spray it over your plants, but right, you can spray it around your plants and not be concerned that it's going to cause a lot of adverse effects as far as that goes. Keep in mind, make sure you read your labels always, of course. This trade name listed here is for like a larger container, but you can find smaller, like almost every brand carries their own type of cefoxidime product. So Bonide, High Yield, all of those types of things that you're going to find at farm supply type stores or even some box stores actually as well. But for cefoxidime, it usually says that you've got to mix it with a surfactant as well. So if you buy that product and then don't get the surfactant to mix with it, you're not going to get as good control as you had hoped that you would get. So
and that surfactant's a sticker.
Yes, yeah,
helps it
stick to the plant.
Yes. And I would say if you don't want to spray, one thing that I do in my flower beds is I trench my bed lines. If that's an option for you, that I have found has actually been the most effective. Now, they'll still creep across. Bermuda is the worst weed where you don't want it. We have a trenched 6-inch deep, and it will still get down there and get up in our beds. However, keeping that trenched bed line, like creating just a manual trench around your beds, will help it from creeping across into your beds. And that's been the most effective for our flower beds where we don't really want to spray and risk it. We trench those bed lines.
Oh yeah, I love that option. I wish I had a trencher. That's what I need. So I don't want to
That's
go
what you
out
need.
there with a little edger.
Oh, that's what I've
taking
been doing.
Oh, bless your heart. Oh,
Don't need a gym subscription when you do that.
no, we don't need.
Oh, look at
we
these
don't need that.
guns. Come on.
Okay, let's see. What else do we have in this lawn maintenance realm? We've got a question here about moles. And I know if you have tuned in with us quite often, you've heard us answer this question before. How do I deal with moles in my lawn? We have mechanical traps and have put them out to prevent, and they have also put out preventative chemical insecticides for growth control, essentially, is what they're trying to get at. Let's see. And they're just still struggling, right, with moles in the yard. Moles with an M, not moles with a V. So let's clarify this again, because I feel like these two rodents get confused with each other. So voles are teeny tiny, voles with a V, and they tunnel underground, but they also run on top of the ground and they feed on plant roots. Moles, on the other hand, tunnel underground and stay underground and feed on insects that are in your soil, so grubs, worms, etc. And I feel like most of the time we always say your best bet is going to be mechanical control with like harpoon type traps. But if you're not having success with your harpoon traps, you've got to have a strategy. You can't just go out there and just throw them all around and then say, oh no, I didn't catch any moles. Wonder what's happening. Go out there and stomp down all your tunnels that you're seeing in that lawn area. Okay. Give it half a day. Go back out, see which tunnels have puffed back up. And that way you know which tunnels are active, because they will tunnel and then they'll abandon it, after a while. And so this way you know where they're actively moving. And you need more than one trap. If you have a significant mole problem, you need at least 2 or 3. Okay. Go ahead and set those in the active runs. If they are not triggered within a day, you need to do this process over again and move your trap again. Okay. So we're not just going to leave a trap in a spot for 2 and 3 days and it's never been triggered. That's not doing us any good. Right. So you've got to be proactive. You've got to have a plan, strategy, if you will, when we are approaching this mole control technique. Does anybody else have any other fun tips for mole control?
Do a good video.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying I have a good link to a video of a guy blowing his backyard up using a non-traditional method, but maybe we'll avoid that.
Is it called Caddyshack? Is that what it is?
It could be.
Okay.
If you are using the bait worms, be very careful if you have dogs that have a tendency to dig for things, because I do have people who have had their dogs dig up and eat the bait worms before, and that can be a very serious, if not fatal, situation for your dog, especially if it's a smaller dog. So just, again, make sure that you're cautious with what you're buying and keep in mind who all, if you have little kids, animals, just be cautious with what you use if you're going the poison route.
Yeah. Good. All good points. Okay, well, that is all that we have time for today. We thank y'all for hopping on and talking plants with us and submitting your questions. And we ask that y'all just keep doing that. And as long as y'all are asking questions, we're going to keep holding office hours and answering them. And always enjoy interacting with y'all. If you have any needs, just let us know. And we'll say have a happy rest of July. Oh, I do want you to go ahead and mark your calendars for our next office hours. Let me look on my calendar and see when that is. We are skipping the month of August because we figure everybody's going to be super hot at that point, right? But we're going to join back in September. So September 12th, that's the second Friday in September, will be our next office hours. You can keep submitting questions, even though we're not going to meet in August. I will check those and we'll get answers. We'll get responses to all those questions and get those loaded onto the map. So you don't have to wait 2 months before you can get a response. But we're going to skip August and we'll be back with you all in September 12th. Okay. Thanks.
Bye.